In this video, we continue with multiplication and division of fractions. Just going to do activities to improve our skills in multiplication and division of fractions, different types of fractions. So yes, let's get started. Multiplication and division. Fractions. We did a lot of multiplication in the previous video. In this follow-up video, let's start off with division first. Division, okay. Let's say a friend asks you to, example 1, friend asks you, please would you divide this for me? I forgot how to divide 3/4. So it's a quarter divided by 1/4. The friend said, could you please help me divide this? How to divide? So remember, division sign. You can't work with division sign. If you have a division sign, you need to change the sign into a multiplication sign. And when you change the sign to a multiplication sign, the second fraction, let me just show you, the second fraction, which is this one, has to be reciprocal. So you reciprocal it. So you do nothing with the first fraction, you just write it as it is. You write the first fraction is this one here, you write it as it is, 3/4. Then the sign, because you cannot work with this sign, division sign, it changes to multiplication. And then the second fraction is reciprocal. The denominator goes on top and the numerator goes at the bottom. So the denominator is what? It's 4. So we write 4. We bring down our division, which is this horizontal line, and we write down our numerator, which was 1. So I wonder also, I'm wondering right now, why don't we know division? What is the division? The reason why we can't have division, then we can't use it, is because 3/4 means the same thing as 3 divided by 4. This can be written as 3/4. So in this case, if we have 3/4 divided by 1/4, that simply means 3, forget about that side, means 3/4 divided by 1/4. This was the division here, but this is learning for another time, brings more complications. So yeah, I guess just the rule for division. I was trying to see if there's a reason why. I don't know the reason yet, but this is what we have here. So the division sign changes to multiplication. You have 1, you have 4. Now you have 4 on top and you have 1 at the bottom. So we just do multiplication as usual. 4 times 4, 4 times, not times 4, 4 times 1, numerator times numerator, 3 times 4. When we are here, if you're very good, you can just always just say, oh look, since this is multiplication, the number there 4, and here we have 4, so 4 is divisible by 4, and they all give 1. 4 goes into 4 one time, so 3 times 1 over 1 times 1. So my final answer, 3 times 1 is 3, divided by 1 gives us 3. If you are intelligent enough, or you are super smart, you can always, already from here, you can always do the division, because 4 is divisible by 4. So 4, which is divisible by 4 here, gives us 1, and then already from here we can get 3. But here you might miss some steps and lose out some marks. That's why I prefer to always do it all straight out till the very end, because it's good, it's neat, and it gets you to score some marks, which is what we want. Who doesn't want marks, right? So second one we can say 1 over 2, let's say 3 divided by 1 over 2. First of all, you need to change this whole number into a fraction. So any number, for example, we have 3. If you change this to, since we are working with fractions, you can always write 3 over 1. 3 over 1 is a fraction, is an improper fraction. But in this case, 3 over 1 is the same as 3, because 3 divided by 1 gives us 3. So if we write 3 over 1, it's the same thing as not doing anything. So we write 3 over 1 divided by 1 over 2. Okay, now we change the sign. 3 over 1 multiplied by, remember, reciprocal, 2 over 1. So there we go. Numerator times numerator, 3 times 2 gives under 1 times 1 gives us 6 over 1, which is the same thing as 6. So there we go. Example 3. Example 3, and say we have over 2 divided by, let's say, divided by what? 1 over 2 divided by, just say 3. Okay, to work this one out, we change the division sign to multiplication. So if the division sign changes to multiplication, remember we cannot do operations or with just the whole number in a fraction. Always make sure you change the whole number fraction, and to change the whole number to a fraction, you just put the horizontal line there and put a 1 below. 3 over 1, now it's a fraction. So there we go, over 1. So since there's 1 under there, if we reciprocal here, 1 is going to be on top, 3 is going to go below. There we go. 1 times 1 will give us 1, divided by 2 times 3, that gives us 6. So that's our final answer. Cool. Just like that, we have done division and multiplication. Actually, we're not doing anything. We're changing everything and then we multiply. So yeah, that is how you multiply fractions. That's how you divide fractions. Let's do one last example. Fourth example now. Let's use a different color. Fourth example, let's say, what is it? 4 over 3 divided by 5. Who can guess? Do this one on your own. Okay, I'm assuming you have done it. So first step, what do? We change the whole number to a fraction. Once that is done, we need to change that sign, division sign, to multiplication. Multiplication, and then what do? We reciprocal the next fraction. Comes 1 over 5. So in the end, what do we have? 1 over 5. So 4 times 1 gives us 4. 3 times 5 gives us 15. So 3 over 15 is our final answer. So this was just more practice, or more multiplication practice activities, just to get us used to multiplication and reciprocation of fractions. So yeah, that was all. To summarize, when you are doing division, the rule is, for example, if you have A over B divided by C over D, what you do to work that out, if first fraction remains as it is, you change the sign to multiplication, then you reciprocal the second fraction, becomes D over C, and then you just multiply numerator with numerator, denominator with denominator, which is A times D over B times C. That's your final answer. So if you are doing multiplication, for example, A over B multiplied by C over D, if you're doing multiplication, you will just multiply straight right away. A times C, B times D. Whilst when there was division, you had to change the sign, reciprocal the second one. So this is rule for multiplication. The first one was rule for division. So yeah, this video is done. Thank you for watching.